welcome to another song title challenge where you get inside the mind of a hit songwriter, no matter how dark and murky and full of cobwebs it might be. You get to run around in there and do some damage. And that hit songwriter is my good friend, Mr. Brent Baxter. This is a fun, creative exercise, guys. It's not a co-write. Send your song title ideas, if you'd like them to be considered, to info@daredevilproduction.com. Once again, production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. Please put in the title, song title challenge. Some of you don't, and I stumble across some of them, but I'm sure I missed some of them as spam or whatever. So, because it kind of looks like maybe an email got hacked or whatever. But make sure you put the song title challenge in the subject line. It'll go into the right folder. And then I spring them live on the podcast in real time to Brent. And we're going to craft up 4 to 5 different creative approaches to writing the lyrics for a song. And in the concept behind this here, that the benefit that we believe is and it's become a really popular part of our show, is the fact that, you know, instead of shooting for the concept that hits you right over the plate, the meatball over the plate, if you've spent 15 minutes just trying to come up with 4 or 5 different concepts, oftentimes you're going to find a really nice twist that's going to make that song stand out, and you're going to stick out amongst all the other songs and up your game. Is that right, Brian? You got anything you want to add to that?
That is true. Yep, not a co-write. Just give us something to play with, and hopefully give you some ideas and inspire you and all the climbers out there to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, and you know, use what you want. Don't use what you want. Like I said, it's not a co-write. The only thing you owe us is we do get invited +1 each to the number 1 party. Right?
That's exactly. I don't want John to be my +1. I want my own.
That's right. That's right. All right. So, are you ready, sir?
Not at all. Let's do it.
Okay. This comes from an Irish climber. He's Irish. An Irish climber. His name is Rod Smith.
Rod Smith.
And the title is Sunshine on Wheels.
Huh.
Sunshine on Wheels.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Sunshine on Wheels. So, first of all, Rod, you're getting my attention with your title, because that immediately opens a loop, like makes me immediately wonder, like, where's that going? How's that going?
I'm curious to see what they wrote about this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for the next 10 minutes, I got to be the guy to figure that out. So I can't just hit play. But that's great. That's a good lesson there. Start with an interesting title that makes somebody want to listen. It kind of opens a little loop and ask a question in a way like, oh, what's going on there? So, okay, Sunshine on Wheels. I mean, first thing I think of is, you know, a car or a truck, you know, some sort of vehicle thing. So it'll be kind of built around a song. And what is a sunshine? I mean, I feel like it's the girl. You know, maybe she's I don't know, skating. Skate world.
Right.
I picture 70s and I picture Farrah Fawcett on roller skates.
Right. Maybe it's a hottie sitting next to you in like a big old muddy 4x4 pickup truck, like of her own. Right. And you see like, oh my gosh. And you just describe like the dirtiest, crappiest truck ever. But then
sunshine on wheels, baby.
Sunshine on wheels.
Middle of the night. Sunshine on wheels. Yeah, I mean, you got that kind of thing too, which is kind of the one of the first things I was thinking about too is, it's the girl in the truck, and man, it might be raining out, it might be middle of the night, but man, she is sunshine on wheels, which is cool. So that'd probably be kind of your basic straight ahead country, middle of the road, you know, swing for the fences kind of thing. But yeah, I would put it to really make that sunshine pop. You want to put it in a muddy truck or middle of the night or it's raining, but
dark.
Right?
Dark moment, right.
It could be that. I mean, maybe you don't want to bring like emotional darkness into it, which would be another angle though. But say for this angle, that'd be a way to make it pop a little bit more. Or it could just be like, you know, it's a beautiful day and we're rolling through the country, back roads or whatever, but it don't matter even if it's raining because, like, you know, she's sunshine on wheels. So maybe it's all happy on top of happy, which might be cool. But like, but even if it's raining, it doesn't matter. You know, it's more about how it feels. Right. You know, it don't change the way it feels. With, you know, my girl, you're sunshine on wheels. It might be something like that. So you got to think like it's, you know, it's a beautiful day for a drive. You know, pouring down
right.
or middle of the night, it's still a good day for a drive, because it's, whatever. It's doesn't matter what, it's all the same, just how it feels. Girl, you're sunshine on wheels. Like I just want to go ride around with you. Doesn't matter what the weather is. It's a perfect day for a drive. At least it's how it feels. Yes, Johnny, you. Yes, you with the tall hair. Horseshack.
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so some friends of mine a while back had a baby, and when the baby wouldn't sleep, they would go for a drive because it would zonk out like in 30 seconds, and so they go for driving around for a little bit. That could be sunshine on wheels, right? Like
could be,
for a lot of different reasons, right? Because you get some peace and quiet.
Yeah, the baby stopped.
And there's nothing more adorable than a sleeping baby, right? Like,
no, that is pretty. So that's cool. I also think of a school bus, yellow, like the sun.
Oh, look at that!
Sunshine on wheels. I don't know how you get
yellow
to that. What makes that
bus
pop?
kicking up red dust, picking us up by a barbed wire fence.
There you go.
MTV on the RCA, no AC in the vents. Oh, we can't do that. That was already written.
That's been done.
That was genius.
It was great. But we're talking about American kids. Kenny Chesney cut it. But, I don't think the kids think of that as being sunshine on wheels. Maybe the parents who get them out of the house. Summer's over. Whew, finally. But I don't see that being a big swing. I'm not sure why a school bus.
Hold on a second, though. Okay, so how about, I'm not sure how commercial this is or not, but, man, I think about all the lessons that are learned. So in the vein of American Kids, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's making out on living room couches, rolling that smoke on Saturday night, a little messed up, but we're all right. Well, I think about all the lessons that I learned on a school bus.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the first time you probably ever hear somebody talk about weed, or first time you ever see a Playboy magazine, in third grade or something, or the first time you're dealing with a girl that you like and you got a crush, or the first time you got to deal with a bully, right? That's my first time I had to deal with bullies on a school bus. I mean, there's a lot of life that happens. Yeah,
it's like the best stuff I learned in school was on the bus.
Sunshine on wheels.
It could be the good stuff, but also it makes me think there's a lot of all that, the bully, because we had a lot of that stuff too. Or the first time, you're for me it was the first time hearing a lot of that kind of language be on the bus.
Exactly, first time you're hearing cuss words and stuff. Because there's the older kids, right? There's the freshmen in high school are on the same bus as the grade school kids, and so you're in the mix with the older kids, you're like, oh, wow, he's a big dude, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, so to this point, I remember, I think I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but that first bully that I had on the bus, that's when I went to my dad. And this is a part of the problem with society today. So you can make a societal kind of thing. But I'm like, this guy's bullying me. You need to help me. And he's like, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm going to do nothing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to protect me. And I seriously, at that moment, I don't know how this must have been so hard for him, right? Mm-hmm. To look into my eyes and see I felt betrayed. I felt like he abandoned me, I can't believe you're not going to help me out, because I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ride the bus, but he made me take the bus, and he's like, you got to figure out how to deal with this, because you're going to meet an a-hole like that every single day of your life, and I'm not going to be around to protect you.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how to deal with it. So as horrible as that was, is what a lesson that I learned. That was the first one of many right there. Yeah. But I mean, that could go really deep, man. Maybe too deep for commercial music, but
but it could be really cool as well. So, Rod, and here's part of the deal. I'm treating this kind of like a co-write, even though it's not a co-write, but acting as if it were a co-write and this were in the room. You may spin off that title and go, we're going to write the school bus song. And it may not even be that title.
Right.
And that's okay. That's how rights go sometimes. But coming back to the title that is our task at hand, because that school bus thing is interesting to me. Sunshine on Wheels. All right. So we got the love song, me, you, girl, love song, you're awesome, country truck, sunshine. Mm-hmm. All right. What else can we do on that? Sunshine on Wheels. It's okay. So what else we got on wheels? You got, kid and a bike. Maybe it's that thing about having wheels,
Right.
and that freedom,
yeah,
growing up, and you start off with your BMX or whatever, your skateboard, and man, it's sunshine on wheels. It's summer, and I'm getting old enough to get a little bit of mobility, a little bit of independence, a little bit of freedom, and it's sunshine on wheels, baby. It's awesome. Yeah. I can go riding around the neighborhood. I can go down the skate park or whatever. Now I got my license. I got my car. And I got my girl. You can still bring the girl in. It's sunshine on wheels, and life is good, man. I'm mobile.
There you go.
I'm from city limit to city limit. Something like that could be cool, too. So it's not like a straight up, just a love song, which is still cool. But it could be like a growing up, hit the nostalgia button a little bit for people going, oh, man, yeah, I remember, stacking that, the bricks and the plywood, jumping my bike. And
you get some sweet jumps off that bike.
Yeah. This one has little bars in the back tire so I can stand up and hop on it. Like a BMX pogo. So that would be kind of cool. So that's kind of a life song and bringing in the love there. Sunshine on Wheels. Okay, well, this is fun, though. This is a good title. Let's see, what else we got? So
I got another idea. So on Facebook, there's this thing I follow. It's called the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Okay.
It's all like super positive stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of my former
goal post, like football.
No, coast, like goal. Instead of Gold Coast or goal post, it's Goal Coast. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
And it's a great like positivity thing that shows up in my feed. And there was this girl who was live on stage, and she's doing she's a speaker at this big event, and she's got like the oxygen tubes in her nose, and she had some kind of like really bad ailment, and she was born with it. She's been sick her whole life. And sadly, I saw this, and it was like a real inspirational video. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, don't have pity for sick people, because you're disempowering them, right? Like we can still be positive and blah, blah, blah. But it's a great video, and the girl just succumbed to the illness, and she died. And my friends out in LA, like they were really close to her. And so he was like, man, I can't believe this happened. And I just happened to see it like 2 days before. But what about somebody like that who could be a vet? It could be somebody who's like bound to a wheelchair, right? But they're a leader. They're a spiritual bright light.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's like either that, the great grandmother that's in a wheelchair, or someone that was whatever, luck of the draw kind of thing, either having an issue from birth or an accident or whatever, but it could have been just so bitter.
Yeah. And you could be talking about all the stuff you complained about that day.
Yeah. And then sunshine on wheels.
Yeah. and it
which is that weird, like calm the sunshine on wheels, because it's like, they're in a wheelchair. Is that like too on the nose, or is it awesome? I don't know.
Well, if you're asking me, I would do it.
Yeah.
Because that's my personality. But I think if it's spun right, I mean, I think it's super inspirational. Right. Right. But I think it's real inspirational. And if the messaging is right, it's because they're on wheels. Like,
yeah. Or I think if you could do something where where it's kind of, they own that.
Yeah.
You can do this or whatever, or you can be sunshine on wheels. Like almost they're saying it, like going, you can be positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they own that, and it doesn't make it awkward. It's kind of like they're pointing out themselves going, sunshine on wheels. Get it? Because I'm in a wheelchair.
Well, you could like the first verse could be like you explain about the grandma or the person, let's say, that's in the wheelchair, and kind of you make it a reality of what's happening, but they were sunshine on wheels, and there's the juxtaposition of don't pity them, right? Because they gave me more than any person that ever was standing that didn't have wheels could do. And then on the next verse, you could be talking about like, so then I thought about all the crap I complained about last week.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's like, what am I doing? Like I'm letting like 20 minutes in the line at Starbucks drive-through like ruin my day.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm in the Starbucks drive-through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perspective thing, right? It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I think about, you could kind of be about the, the sweet little old lady or the granddad that picks you up, and he was just always so nice to everybody. He was like sunshine on wheels coming through town. that kind of thing. It would be kind of a little character study of someone that maybe it's not the wheelchair, or maybe it is if you follow them through life, if you do the through act play, the story song, and now.
Except that's not going to be a good way to go today.
It's a steep climb commercially right now to do like a big through act play kind of thing. Where you're talking about somebody at different points in their life. It may be a little bit of a hard climb, but I don't know. You figure it out what you want to go with it. But because that can be something too where, on one hand it was car and then it ends up wheelchair, but granddad was always just sunshine on wheels. Didn't matter. He'd come pick me up and we'd go to the, Sweden cream and get our cheeseburger and a little ice cream. And whatever, and he was awesome. And then, was older and he, we go visit him in the nursing home, but he was still so positive and just still sunshine on wheels,
That's right.
So that might be kind of cool. So I think there are a couple of things there. So I know we're getting on about 15, 16 minutes here, so which is our cap.
So, I'll tell you what, like if Rod Smith or anybody else out there wants to do this exercise with you, maybe they got a title that they don't want to publicly put out there, but they would like to have this kind of an exercise with you, or possibly write the lyrics and co-write with you. What's the way they can do that? Yeah,
I do have coaching sessions available. You can go and get all the details, see my calendar, get a list of kind of like, hey, here's kind of how it works. You can get your questions answered before you even book it. And you can book a session at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That's songwritingpro.com/coaching. Like I said, you can see my whole schedule, book an appointment. We can prepare your song. We can repair your song. We can, there's some things in there we can actually really dig on together, or we can do like we did today, do like a song title challenge on it. And I'll just throw out ideas and you can go and run with them on your own. And my name's nowhere on it. That stuff's fun. So,
awesome.
Check it out.
Well, there you go, guys. This podcast is this because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.